when you trade different products around the world, there should be a unified way of doing all of this, right? Like, whilst we all speak a lot of different languages, there's lots of different currencies, a lot of us have the same needs. So there is like a slightly more unity than we realize.
Henry Duckworth, founder and chief executive officer of AgriDex.
What we wanted to do with AgriDex eventually is let people tell a story with their food. A big part of the 21st century has been brand value. A lot of the companies that have done the best in the world, whether it's LVMH or Hermes or any of these companies, have been people that built up a brand value. And actually, even when it comes to crypto, Michael Saylor with his MicroStrategy group keeps on talking about the idea of Bitcoin being a value proposition, like a brand value. And that's why he's buying it and he's trying to control most of the supply, and that increases the value further down the line. The one thing that all of us do is we eat. Every single person on the planet has to eat to survive. And yet there isn't actually a huge amount of brand value in our basic foods. There is on some of the high value stuff, your caviars or your champagnes, but most food doesn't have a brand value. And I think it's because most food doesn't have a story. We don't know very much about the foods that we buy. We walk into a shop and we go, well, I want to eat peaches today, so we buy a packet of peaches. But we don't know the farmer who made it. We don't know how it got to you. We don't know the passion behind the product. And actually that shouldn't be that hard. Using our system, and we're building this in with tracking and tracing, you should be able to scan a QR code and learn a little bit about the story of the farmer and how that product got to you.
What is your viewpoint in terms of crop yields moving forward with, climate change?
Climate change in itself can be exclusionary to some people. I think what everyone should care about is protecting soil. We've seen from the Dust Bowl of America in the 30s to desertification in southern Saharan regions, it's incredibly important, and we see what happens when you don't treat soil well. So relentlessly focusing on overall yield I don't believe is the answer. It may work in the Midwest where you have access to great inputs and you can regularly top up, I guess, but it doesn't work well in a lot of the emergent world. So I think focusing on crops and custodying your soils in a better fashion is incredibly important. I think it's one of the 3 or 4 things that humanity needs to concentrate on the most. We need to stop focusing on yield alone and start focusing on protection of our biospheres.